I'm Sojourner, this is Sojournies, and we are in Tokyo! Tokyo, Japan, a city of over 14 million people known for its many delicious and flavorful dishes, an immaculate train system, and amazing street style and shopping. A $700 flight deal from Milwaukee to Tokyo brought not only me along for the ride, but my younger brother DJ, who was always wanted to visit and is always down for a new adventure. We are about to do that too.
Yeah.
Though we spent 10 days in Japan visiting Kyoto and Osaka too, Tokyo was the first stop to kick off our first international siblings trip that we will never forget. Upon arriving in Tokyo, you are thrust into learning their train system. And for us, that meant navigating from the neighborhood of Asakusa. Now, most people stay in Shibuya or Shinjuku, which is more central to the city and 50 minutes from Asakusa, so we got to know the train real well. But with only 2 months to plan and trying to find rooms with 2 beds, we opted for Asakusa as a quieter, more affordable, and less busy area of Tokyo. Staying in the hop-in was an experience, to say the least, considering how small the rooms were and how much we packed, but the bunk beds brought us back to our childhood as kids, and the heated bidet made it all worth it. But the beauty of traveling is learning a new culture as you explore, so we kept it pushing, even though there were a few other health and sleep obstacles in our midst. Coming at you live from the streets of Shibuya, Tokyo. This is technically day 3 of our trip to Japan, but the first few days were honestly, we were a little congested, a little jet lagged, and all we did was walk around and eat and shop. And when I say we ate, I meant it. Since it ended up being colder than we anticipated in the beginning of March, it was the perfect weather for ramen, so the search for the creamy noodle dish began. And our first stop was Shibuya Parko, a shopping mall full of places to choose from. But with our focus on ramen, Jakaisi Mensho was our place of choice. We just had our first ramen of the trip, and DJ just slurped the bowl.
Flavorful, action-packed, rich, all gone.
This is a vegan spot, and it was so delicious. Nom nom. I'm gonna zoom in. Now, as a non-pork eater, it is very hard to find ramen dishes that won't tear up my stomach, but we found another vegan ramen spot, this time in Harajuku, called Vegan Bistro Jagara. They make the sweet apple ginger juice and perfectly grilled gyozas full of veggies. Now, though I preferred the first ramen spot, this one wasn't bad at all. I liked that their ramen had a more charcoal grill flavor to the broth and the soy meat too. Also, their noodles were a bit thinner but not overcooked, which is how I prefer my ramen. Oh, and while you can do designer and thrift shopping in Tokyo, you can also shop around for the best nail artists. And my research led me to Kaori at Disco Tokyo. Japanese nail art is truly that, and art. So if you are into manicures like I am, definitely book an appointment before you arrive in Tokyo because they fill up quickly, but the end result is so worth it. I love my Jet-Lax manicure to kick off the beginning of a great trip. Today is our first actual big activity, which is taking the streetcar Shibuya. So this is where you get in a little cart, a little go-kart, and you drive around the city. So let's go check it out. Every good trip needs a little burst of adrenaline or adventure, and driving around in a go-kart on the streets of Shibuya, Tokyo in a Pikachu costume definitely filled that quota. Going really well so far. I'm super excited. It's so fun. We're on the streets of Tokyo. We are about to cross Shibuya, crossing the Shibuya Scramble, is what it's called. Chaos. But it's not too bad. With adrenaline high, nerves of driving around non-existent anymore, and hunger on the rise, it was time to hop back on the train for some food and retail therapy.
We worked up an appetite after doing the streetcars, which was so much fun, but now we are in Shimokitazawa, which is known for their thrifting, but we found this restaurant right here called 46 Ma or 46 Ma that only sells one thing on the menu, which is chicken curry. So let's go see how good it is. I'm really excited.
You have to trust yourself and your skills to only serve one dish on your menu. I don't know who owned this restaurant, but they know their worth because the chicken curry was definitely a hit.
That's delicious. It's also like not super spicy, but just enough.
After another successful meal under our belts and in our tummies, it was time to thrift. Shimokitazawa is known as Tokyo's bohemian district, full of vintage shops, live music, bakeries, bistros, and cafes. It's a great neighborhood to walk around, window shop, or buy a few new items for your wardrobe. You can do some major damage here, so pack accordingly.
We are on Omoide Yokocho, which is the memory lane street that has all the street food.
One of my favorite parts about Tokyo was how you never knew what you find when you turn the corner. And though very popular with tourists, Omoide Yokocho was one of those favorites for me.
I got okonomiyaki, which is the Japanese pancake. It's super savory and super delicious.
Located in Shinjuku, Omoide Yokocho is an open-air market that was birthed in the immediate aftermath of World War II. Now with 60 bars and restaurants, Omoide is a fun nighttime hangout with endless chicken skewers and other dishes to try. But a night of eating and bar hopping along tiny streets in Shinjuku doesn't have to end there. After a 10-minute walk from Omoide, we headed to Golden Gai, a set of 6 narrow alleys with over 200 small bars and clubs, some of which are locals/members only, while others welcome tourists with a drink and a snack.
Basically, I try to do everything.
Oh, that's good.
Tokyo is a city with endless things to do. As the trip went on, as I strolled the streets of Asakusa with the Sensoji Temple just a few steps from my hotel room, I knew it was impossible to see, do, and eat everything all in one trip. But what was possible was taking at least one cooking class to learn how to make one of Japan's most popular dishes, ramen. Cooking classes are one of my favorite ways to learn about a culture while traveling. So when I found this ramen and gyoza cooking class in Asakusa on Viator with Junko and Masa, I knew I had to book it, even though I realized this may be more complicated than I anticipated. This lovely couple teaches you all about the multi-step process of cooking ramen and gyozas, which honestly made me appreciate the dishes a lot more. You also aren't feeling rushed or left behind in this class, as they demonstrate each step for you first, then have you try it yourself. And boy, were there a lot of steps. I never made ramen or gyozas before, so I was very much a beginner adjusting to the Japanese cooking lifestyle. And I was learning a lot about what I could and couldn't do along the way.
This is a workout. My arm hurts. Yeah.
It's your left hand.
Yeah, I don't ever use this hand.
using your wrong hand. Yeah, left hand is.
Yeah, dang, I'm weak.
And what I couldn't do was make gyozas at all.
Okay, wait. I got one. That's about all I. Wait, how you get the other one? How you do that? Sir.
Yeah, like that.
I got one. I got one.
Yeah, I struggled.
Okay, these are what they're supposed to look like. Okay, this is what I did. Foolishness. Getting cute nails was not a good idea before this. So yes, this is mine.
Even though I learned I should leave the gyoza making to the professionals from here on out, this was such a fun class. Traveling to new to you countries and cultures means sometimes looking ridiculous trying to figure out what you're doing and just going with the flow anyway. And you know, allegedly burning a few things along the way too. Allegedly.
I'm pretty sure I burned this, but we gonna taste it.
No, just flavor.
Right. It tastes good. It tastes burnt, but it's good. I am a little stressed. This is a lot. It's a lot of work. Oh my gosh. Here's how they turned out. I don't know. This was hard. This was hard.
Yeah,
It was fun. Okay, his look a lot more, you know,
I don't know.
normal
I'm
in
not
my
sure.
opinion.
I'm not sure.
In my opinion. These look burnt, but I'm gonna eat them, but.
While I do not think anyone will be asking me to make gyozas anytime soon, we topped off the class by seeing how the ramen noodles are prepared and made from scratch before cooking them ourselves. And just like all the best cooking classes, the part you look forward to the most is getting to eat your creation at the end, no matter how burnt or perfectly cooked your dishes may be.
Now we're gonna try the ramen.
This class was fun, delicious, and worth it.
Hello and welcome to my last day in Tokyo. I'm really sad to be leaving tomorrow, but I have a full day of things to do before I leave, and I wanted to get started early at the Tsukiji outer market. As you can see, it is in full swing behind me right now. I'm really hungry. The sun is out. It is the perfect day to walk around. So let's go see what we can eat.
The Tsukiji Outer Market is a place to bring cash, card, and a very empty stomach. As you walk through the streets filled with restaurants and retail shops, you can find all kinds of traditional Japanese dishes, lots of seafood, long lines waiting to indulge in said food, and many dishes being made right in front of you, which is my favorite part of the experience. However, for me, the number one dish I wanted to try at the market was the fresh, fatty tuna. I love sushi, especially tuna, so I figured a trip to the market would be the perfect place to try the freshest tuna that Tokyo had to offer.
Okay, I got the different types of tuna. This looks so good. Here's what it looks like. That's definitely the freshest tuna I've had. Oh, it's so good. It's fresh, it's thick. They have different parts of like fatty, medium fatty, lean, like all different kinds. Let's try, I think this is the very fatty one. Look at that, super fatty. This is the freshest tuna I've ever had.
The market is very popular, so you want to get here between 7 and 8 a.m. if you can to wander around and scope out what you want without a big crowd.
When I was walking around earlier, there was a like strawberry custard dessert I knew I wanted to try. So I'm gonna see if I can find the street again and get it because I've been craving something sweet. I think I found it. Oh, that right there. I want one of those. I have secured the custardy dessert, like a strawberry. in the middle. I found a little bench to sit on, so let's take a bite. The strawberry is like super fresh. It does taste very custardy. And because I still had a little sweet tooth, I opted for another sugar-coated strawberry and grape candy treat too. So these are essentially candied grapes and strawberries. So it has like a sugar coating on top. It's really hard, but super sweet, and the fruit is super fresh. The Tsukiji market was one of my favorite places to visit in Tokyo. I could honestly spend all day in that market, but since it is my last day, I do have some other things that I want to do before I finally leave Tokyo. I am continuing my last day with my brother, who I grabbed from the hotel, and we are currently walking through the Meiji Jinju Shrine, which is in Harajuku and one of the popular shrines here in Tokyo. The walk to the shrine is one of the most serene places I visited in Tokyo. Even though it's a huge city surrounded by trains, buildings, and concrete, this area felt like a different place entirely with all the trees and greenery. It is free to visit the shrine, which are places of worship within the Shinto religion, and the Meiji Jinju Shrine was established in 1920 to commemorate the virtue of Emperor Meiji and Empress Shokin. So be sure to write one prayer or hope you have while on your visit. Though there were a million other things I could have also done on my trip to Tokyo, I am so grateful for the privilege to travel and see places that I have heard about for so long. Growing up in the Midwest, Japan seemed so far away from my brother and I never knew if I was actually going to make a visit one day. But being here, trying new foods as I wandered through the streets. To be honest, I'm not 100% sure what this is, but it looked good and it smelled good. It kind of tastes like a pancake. Like a creamy custard, not like ice cream custard, while hearing and very slightly attempting a new language.
Once again, Ohayou gozaimasu.
Was such a fulfilling experience. Every day was an adventure, and 5 days was just the tip of the iceberg in Tokyo. And I know I will be back again one day, but I'm excited to see what Kyoto and Osaka have in store for us next.